Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to have a little debate on genetics in gaming. It's not going to be my usual gaming content. It is going to be a debate. We are bringing back, due to popular demand, my paint skills, my Microsoft Paint skills. We've got a little graph here, which I'll explain to you in a second. But we are going to explore genetics in gaming and whether everyone is born with exactly the same or equal opportunities, with the same kind of reaction time, the same kind of IQ and thinking and stuff like that, or whether some people are naturally better suited to gaming and maybe they have slightly better attributes, or are just genetically gifted or just naturally gifted, however you want to word it, at gaming. This is not going to be some kind of inspirational video. It's not going to make everyone feel amazing and think you can go and achieve the greatest of things. This is more about reality. I'm a very kind of deep thinker. I'm really into thinking about the universe and the human brain and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm a very science-based person, so this is not going to be an inspirational video. So if that's what you're after, turn it off right now. This is going to be more exploring the reality. And also, I just want to caveat, if you are a person, which I know there's some people out there on the internet that are very have a tunnel vision mind and are not able to explore things, or are just going to click on this video and write a negative comment or dislike it straight away, then dislike the video and just leave it. Don't bother writing me a negative comment, because I'm not interested. If you're not willing to kind of open your mind or take your tunnel vision blinkers off, then honestly I'm not interested in having a debate or a discussion. I'd rather someone, if you disagree with anything I post in this video, let me know what you think in regards to posting evidence and facts and stuff like that, and let's have a healthy, positive debate. So this graph that I've got here, we've got two axes. We've got nature along the bottom, and we've got nurture here. If you can read my writing is horrendous, which we'll come on to a little bit later on. And nature is all the things when you were born, are you genetically gifted at something? So for example, if you want to be a weightlifter or a powerlifter and you're born and you've got massive biceps and massive muscles all around, then your nature is probably going to be over here, way off the scale where I've done this little X. And then nurture is all around when you are born, your genetics and whatever you are then set with, but your nurture is around your education, how you've been brought up, or everything you've experienced in life, the problems you faced, all kinds of stuff like that. So for example, going back to the weightlifter or to the powerlifter, if you're born and you've got massive biceps and massive muscles, like I said, you're probably off the scale in terms of nature, because you're born naturally advantaged. And the nurture will be let's say from 1 year old, you've been lifting weights, you've been lifting all kinds of heavy stuff, you've been eating a healthy lifestyle, all kinds of stuff like that, then your nurture is probably going to be high as well, in which case you're probably likely to be a champion powerlifter and weightlifter. Maybe not a champion, but you're going to be very good at it if you have both of those two things. For example, if you are born and you are naturally super skinny, no matter what you eat or whatever happens, your nature in terms of powerlifting or weightlifting or whatever is probably going to be down here, and you can train and train and train, and in my opinion, you'll probably never achieve the greatness that this guy over here is going to achieve. So that's basically this graph. Oops, told you my art skills are amazing. That's basically what this graph is. Again, this is all my opinion. If you disagree with something here and you've got science to prove it, or you've got some evidence to back it up, then let me know in the comments. So what you might think here is that, well, definitely some people watching this video right now will be thinking that, what the hell are you on about, Dominator? What the hell are you on about? Everyone is the same, and no matter my next door neighbor, or whether it's me or whoever, whether it's my friend, if we all train the same, we can all achieve the same greatness. Okay, so I disagree with that. I don't think so. But I'm not just going to tell you that. I'm going to show you a whole ton of information first of all, and then let you make your own mind up. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about here is actually 100 meters sprinting and this guy. So we've got here Usain Bolt. He is from Jamaica. In 2012, he ran 100 meters in 9.58 seconds, which is faster since records began than any other man has ever ran before. So he's the fastest man literally on the planet. Maybe not anymore. He has retired from running now, but at the time he was the fastest man on the planet. From around 7 billion humans that we have on the planet, he was the fastest by a long way. So There is a few things in this article about fast twitch muscle fibers. Basically, this article is about what makes someone a fast sprinter, and basically what this article is trying to say. And what I've seen on a few other sports articles in the past, like for example, boxers who are particularly quick, and they go on about fast twitch muscle fibers and stuff like that. I've seen it mentioned a few times. It's not the first time that I've seen it. And basically, they're saying that if you have fast twitch muscle fibers, they tire more easily, but they contract more quickly, meaning that you're going to be better at running shorter distances. This is like from naturally. If you have these, if nature gives you these, you're probably going to be a little bit quicker, but you're probably going to get tired more easily, which is why Usain Bolt is not a long distance runner, in my opinion. And there's also some stuff about slow twitch muscle fibers as well. If you've got them, they typically are found in long distance runners. They tire less quickly, and they enable you to run further for longer without getting tired as quick. So my question to you here is that if you are a person that thinks if you can train and train and train, and it's all about training, it doesn't matter what genetic makeup or what race you are or anything like that, if you train and train and train, you can still achieve the same as someone else. So my question is to those people who think that, if we were to invent some kind of time machine and you were to go back and live Usain Bolt's life, you were to be born into his family, you've got your body and your genetic makeup, but you were born into his life, you have his family, you go to the same school that you went to, you have the same friends, you have the same diet, you have the same training, you have all the same opportunities, you have absolutely everything is exactly the same. I know that's basically impossible, but if that was the case, do you genuinely believe in 2012, when the Olympics comes and your time to run comes? Well, actually, first of all, do you believe you would make it to the Olympics with the body that you have, or with the arms and the legs and whatever that you have, or with the fast twitch muscle fibers or whatever that you have? Do you believe you would be able to run as fast as Usain Bolt did in 2012 and beat the world record? I personally think you wouldn't. I don't think probably a lot of people probably wouldn't. Maybe some other Jamaicans, which is another thing. I think if you look at top 10 100-meter runners, usually if you look at a finals, usually there's quite a lot of Jamaicans in there. I think Jamaicans are naturally gifted and just better at 100-meter running. That's probably another thing that I'll come on to. But what I'm trying to get at is if you go back in a time machine, I'm going to bet some serious money that if you have lived the same life as Bolt, you're not going to run ever anywhere near as quick as he ran. He is genetically gifted, in my opinion. I know this is talking about sports, but we're going to talk about sports first of all because it's kind of easier to show, and then I'm going to show how it relates to gaming. Just on the subject of 100 meters sprinting, I'm going to go to the second one here. I'm not going to play this, I might get done for copyright or whatever, but do you notice anything here? This is the 2016 Rio. Is that the Olympics? Yeah, this is the Olympics, the 100 meter final. There's no white guy there. In fact, no white guy has ever run 100 meters under 10 seconds apart from one guy, and that one guy is this guy. Actually, it says from European descent. I'm not sure if it's just a white guy or not, but someone from European descent. He's the only guy. This Christophe Lemaitre, if I'm saying that right. He's a French guy in, I can't remember what year it was that he ran it. Does it say 2010? Yeah, 2020. He's the only basically European white guy to ever run 100 meters under 10 seconds. So out of all the people on the planet, no white person has ever ran 100 meters under 10 seconds. Now, are you telling me that's down to training, or is that down to genetics? I, again, personally think it's down to genetics, but if you disagree, or if you've got any facts or science to prove otherwise, let me know in the comments, and we will happily have this kind of debate. All you have to do is go to Google Images, type in 100 meters men's finals. How many white guys can you see on here? There's one there. It's in Australia, I'm going to guess. Well, actually, he definitely didn't run it in under 10 seconds because it's not on record. There's a lot of black guys and a lot of black women, I think, if there's any women there. But basically, it looks to me like people of a black descent or an origin have are genetically better. Maybe they all have this fast twitch muscle fibers. I don't know, but basically, I'm just trying to show you with some facts and figures that I found. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is, again, we're talking about athletics. The whole first part of this video is going to be about sports, really, and then I'm going to show you how it can relate to gaming. But the next thing I want to show you is hurdles. So I'm going to go, again, back to Google. I've gone to Olympics 2016 hurdles. I'm going to go on the latest Wikipedia page. We're going to scroll right to the bottom because there's all these heats and semi-finals and stuff like that. But all I'm interested in is the finals. So this is for 2016 Olympics, and I want to see just the kind of dimensions of the hurdles runners in this, and just see if I can quickly work out. So I know roughly that the hurdles that you run over during hurdles are, I think, 42 inches from the ground in the usual 110 meters, I think. Anyway, so around 42 inches. So I'm going to look at some of the heights of some of these guys. So this guy, I think he's close to 6 foot, but I'm not sure he's actually got his height there. But this guy here, he's 6 foot 1 inches tall. This guy has not got height. We'll Google that one in a second. This one is 6 foot 3. Remember, these are the guys in the finals. Devon Allen, he is 6 foot or 1.83. This guy, I don't know if there's a height there. This guy, 6 foot 2. This guy, 6 foot 2. So they're all around the 6 foot 2, 6 foot 3. I happen to know that this guy, I think he is, I'm going to Google it. He's just under 6 foot, I think. So 1.8 meters. So actually he's a bit smaller. Feet. So he's 5 foot 11. So they're all around 6 foot. Some of them are 6'1", some of them 6'2", some of them 6'3". So if a do you think this this guy, do you think if he trained his whole life and wanted to be in the 2016 Olympics and went to do the hurdles, do you think that guy is going to run the hurdles as fast as some of these guys that won it in 13, well, pretty much all 13 seconds? So it's Dan McLeod. Actually, he was 5 foot, I can't remember what he's, 5 foot 10 or 5 foot 11, something like that. Just under 6 foot. He ran it at 13:05. This guy here, who doesn't matter how much he trains, he is, I don't know how tall this guy is, but I've typed in dwarf. He's classed as a dwarf, meaning he's small, which I think has to be 4 feet and 11 inches and less. Do you think, however hard this guy tries, do you think he's got a fair chance at running 13 seconds for the 100-meter hurdles? To be honest, to me, the answer is pretty obvious. The answer is no. He doesn't. But if you're one of these people that believe that everyone has the same advantages as everyone else, then let me know in the comments your reasoning behind it, and we'll have this debate. Okay, I'm going to close all of these, and we're going to look at our next thing. What I was trying to get across there is basically the perfect height. What it seems to me for running the hurdles is around 6 foot to 6 foot 1, 6 foot 2, 6 foot 3. If you're a super tall guy, being like 7 foot 9 or something, like some people in the world are, very rare, but some of them are, I'm going to guess that as well, those people are not able to run the hurdles in 13 seconds. Sorry, 13.05 seconds. Okay, I'm now going to go to boxing. And I'm going to show you this guy who is the heavyweight champion of the world. He is British. Boxing is a sport that I follow quite a lot. This guy is an absolute beast. His family, I think, originate from Nigeria, but he was born in Britain. He was born in Watford in London. He is something like 6'5". He is an absolute animal. He is a beast. He's like 17 stone. In English terms, you'll see he is the heavyweight champion of the world. Everyone he has fought, he has knocked them out, bar one guy, I think. His knockouts are mental, actually. He's very, very, very good. I would say, his training camp and everything, so if we go back to this nurture thing, he started boxing very late. He started it when he was like 18, considering some people start boxing when they were like 8 years old and stuff like that. So his nurture probably isn't even at the highest. He could have started earlier. His nurture is probably something like around there. But nature, I would say, being 6'5" and being an absolute beast, yeah, he trains and stuff as well. But I can tell you, if I go and do the same training program that he does, there's no way I am going to look anything like this guy. Because I mean, look at his kind of physique. He's an absolute. That's not even him, I don't think. He is an absolute beast. There's no way. Naturally, if I train, there's no way I'm ever going to be as beastie as that guy. So his nature, I would say, is really, really high. But his nurture, at the moment, I would say it's high. But if he'd have started boxing earlier, who knows? He could be even better than he is now. So I would say he's up here. Usain Bolt as well, I would say his nature is right over here, and his nurture, I don't even know much about Usain Bolt's life, to be honest, but I'm going to guess to get the fastest man that's ever walked the planet, or ever ran the planet even, you're probably going to have to be an outlier like one of these. Like, yeah. Okay, so that's boxing. There is also another boxer called Tyson Fury. He is 6'9", I believe. Yeah, you see there, 6'9", where my mouse cursor is now. He's also undefeated boxer. He's can't remember how many he's won. He's won a crazy amount of boxing bouts. Yeah, actually, total fights 28, wins 27. He had one controversial draw, but he's 6'9", and his kind of style at winning in boxing is kind of just to use his height and reach. And the little boxers, when they're like 5'9" and 5'10", they cannot even land a punch on him. They cannot even reach him. He, in my opinion, is genetically gifted because he's just so tall. I actually think on his Wikipedia page, he's exaggerated his height. I don't believe he actually is that tall, but he is still very, very tall. You see him standing next to tall people and he absolutely dwarfs them. Again, I believe he's genetically gifted. We're going to now go to Albert Einstein. So one of the most intelligent people that has ever lived on the planet. When he died, well, actually, first of all, some of the things he came up with, I think he helped develop. Did he help develop the nuclear bomb or atomic energy? Or have I got that completely wrong? I'm not sure if he did or not. I think I've got that wrong. Totally ignore that. I think he came up with things like the theory of relativity. That's one thing that he did come up with, the most famous thing. But he's a super famous scientist. Okay, when he died, they cut open his head and they cut open his brain, and his brain, I don't know if it says there, but was I don't know if it has a percentage. I read somewhere that his brain was 15% larger than the average person. So Einstein's brain really was bigger than most people's. So obviously, I'm not 100% sure. Actually, the human brain is one of the things that we understand the least about. But was he born with 15% bigger brain? And was that, if you go back and live the same life as Einstein with your body and with your brain, are you really going to come up with like the theory of relativity? Are you really going to come up with all the things and weird and wonderful things that he came up with? My opinion is probably no. He was probably born with a genetically more sophisticated brain, maybe through the nurture and through all the stuff that he was doing. Maybe that's what made his brain 15% bigger, or maybe he was born with a 15% bigger brain and that's what made him so intelligent. You could also say the same with Stephen Hawking as well, and IQ and stuff like that. Stephen Hawking was again a scientist that's recently died. He was famous for knowing all about, or coming up with theories all around black holes and stuff like that. Some of the most complicated things in the entire universe, and he was coming up with all kinds of theories about stuff like that. Now, do you think he was he just trained himself and just became good at that kind of stuff, or do you think he was genetically gifted in the mind and that helped him overcome some of the things that people like me and you struggle to even comprehend or think about? I would argue he's genetically gifted, but again, if you disagree, let me know in the comments. You could say the same about so Michael Phelps, if you've heard of this guy. This guy is an Olympic swimmer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's won more medals than pretty much, is it any other Olympian? The most decorated Olympian of all time with 28 medals. Now, if you look at his shape of his body, I did read something about it. I can't remember if it's his lungs or his body shape or both, but he is, and the size of his arms and stuff, the dimensions and whatever. I watched some science program about it, how he's like perfectly adapted to swimming. Now, if you were to go back and again in your same body, or if someone else's body, and had the same training as him and lived the same life and all that kind of stuff, do you really believe you're going to win 28 Olympic medals? I would argue again, probably not, but it's just another example of where I think people are genetically gifted. We could look at long distance runners. From when should we look at? Olympics 2016 maybe. And if we go again on the Wikipedia, I want to go to the finals or medals by country. I don't know if this is going to get across what I want to get across, but one thing that I noticed is that you tend to get a disproportionately high percentage of people from Ethiopia and from Kenya, or that kind of part of the world, doing really, really well in long distance running. You can see there Ethiopia, Kenya, Ethiopia, Kenya. You see some from China and whatever, but loads of them are from Ethiopia and Kenya. And if you, why are Ethiopians good at line distance? Can't remember if this is going to find the website or not, but basically there was something that was saying how something about the size of their ankles. Yeah, you can see here their genetic makeup and body type, the shape of their body, specifically extremely thin ankles and calves, and that's one of the things, just one of the many things that helps them be really, really good at long distance. I don't know the full science behind it, but I've read load. That's not the first thing. This is a different website that's saying the same stuff. And also maybe it's through that fast twitch muscle fibers and the slow twitch, stuff like that, that's helping them not become tired. You can have a look at table tennis championship. If we go to here, maybe this one isn't going to show what I wanted to show. If I have a look at the top, if I've got this link here. So, okay, so World Top 20 Table Tennis Rankings, January 2018. Now, this one could be a nurture thing, or it could also be a nature thing. But if you notice here, there's a hell of a lot of people from Asian descent. So we've got like China, Japan, China, Hong Kong, Japan, Korea. I might be wrong. Maybe they are genetically gifted, or maybe in China and Asia, all that kind of part of the world, maybe they take table tennis really seriously and they train harder. Maybe their nurture is more off the scale than other countries and stuff like that. So I might be wrong. I'm just showing you again. I'll happily have a debate. This is just something that I noticed with table tennis. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is drawing and what makes someone good at being able to draw. So I'll tell you a situation. Me and my friend, when we were in school, he was an amazing drawer. He'd never drawn before. He was just naturally, what seemed to me naturally really good at it. My artist skills, as you've seen from my paint and from my previous videos on paint, are absolutely horrendous. I've trained and tried to go to art classes and stuff like that, and I've always been really, really bad at drawing. No matter what YouTube videos or what techniques I use or anything like that, I literally, even my handwriting is bad. But my friend, who equally had attended the same art classes, or maybe even gone to less things, maybe never tried to become good at art, he is just naturally, what seems to me, really good at drawing. I want to show you this. If I show you Alien versus Predator, it's the alien that I want to show you actually. So you see that with all the detail. You see the shape of its head, all the detail there, all these things, the rib cage, all of that kind of stuff. My friend used to be able to just look at that, and he would, or even not look at that, he'd just be able to glance at it and then forget about it, or whether he saves it in his memory or whatever, and then he would just be able to get a piece of paper and a pencil, and he would be able to draw that, and it would look amazing. It would look pretty much exactly the same as that. Now, I could have a go at drawing something like that, or even something more simple than that. I could have a go at drawing that, and it will no way look anywhere near the same standard. I mean, look how detailed these kind of creatures are. I wish I had that drawing. I probably do have it somewhere. I can't remember. Maybe my friend has it. But he drew this. I think it was even a different picture to that. And he had never really... he'd attended all the same art lessons as me. We went to the same school, roughly the same age. We played the same sports, all kind of same stuff. But he was just amazing at drawing, and I was absolutely horrendous. Now, maybe... I don't know. You tell me why. Yeah. Is it just because he's genetically better, or is there a different reason? I don't know. You tell me what you think. What else can we talk about? Okay, so getting closer to gaming now. I want to show you this link. Okay, I don't know if this website can be trusted. There are other websites and other studies, but basically what I want to show you now is... human reaction time. So we've talked about like being a powerlifter, being a bodybuilder, boxers, or stuff like that, where it's like if you've got big muscles and you're huge, you're probably going to be able to punch harder and knock someone out in boxing. If you've got this fast twitch muscle fibers, or you're from Jamaica, you've probably got a good chance you're going to be better than me at 100-meter sprinting. But as we get closer and closer towards gaming, it becomes harder and harder to try and look for those things that are going to separate us. So, for example, in bodybuilding, you see the other guy's massive and he's 6'5" and got absolutely huge arms. He's probably going to be good, but you can't really necessarily look at two people and tell if they're going to be a good gamer or not, or what kind of separates them. Well, one thing in, for example, first-person shooter games is probably going to be reaction time. That's not something that me and you can easily see, but it's something we can look at studies about and quickly identify where there are differences. So this is basically over 81 million reaction time clicks. I'm not even sure fully what this is, to be honest, but I think here is the average or the mean reaction time of a human. So you see 225 milliseconds. So that's from when something appears on the screen, you click. The average human reaction time is going to be 225 milliseconds. Actually, it's probably closer to 250, isn't it? Yeah, 250 to 275. Actually, no, sorry. Yeah, between those two. And then you get some people who are, for some reason, off the scale a little bit or below the scale a little bit. So, for example, here, these people, whoever that is, actually, it looks pretty small, but out of 81 million people, being all these people, that's actually still a hell of a lot of people that are naturally, or whether it be natural or not, they have slower reaction time, whether it be the nurture or the nature, or whether it be genetics, or whether it be they're tired, or whether it be they had a bad upbringing, or whatever, their reaction time is slower. But you get some people down here that have absolutely insane reaction time. So what that is basically saying is that some people on the internet, or from this study, have actually, that looks like the biggest one down in this lower region. Some people have 100 millisecond reaction time. I don't know if there's any data here or not. I would find it very hard to believe if someone had a 50 millisecond reaction time. I'd find that absolutely crazy. But you can quickly see that we're not, inside of us, we're not all completely the same. Some people are faster reaction, and some people are a slower reaction than other people. So how else might this, you might say, fair enough, this will impact FPS games, but you might be thinking, how can reaction time doesn't necessarily impact maybe RTS games, which if you're familiar with my channel, I'm an RTS player. Well, let's have a look at this guy. What's he called? Magnus Carlsen. This guy, you probably, is it this guy? No, it's not this guy, actually. What's he called? He's not called Magnus Carlsen. Have I spelled that wrong? Magnus Carlsen, this is the guy. Okay, Magnus Carlsen, he's born in the same year as me. He's 28. My birthday is in March. His birthday is in November. He is a champion chess player, world champion. I think he's probably, is he the best of all time? I'm not sure. I don't know if he's the best of all time or not. I think he's the current champion. Let's see. 2019. He won the tournament, so it looks like he's still the best for a record-extending 7th time. So this guy is a champion chess player. I don't know what year he started. So if he was making headlines in 2004, so that was when he was 14 years old. So I'm going to assume that if I go back in time and I played chess from when I was 1 year old all the way up until I was 14, I'm going to guess that I'm not going to be as good as this guy. I think he is genetically gifted, and that is just why. Maybe his brain is better at working out stuff like problem solving. Some of these chess players, they're looking like, I heard, between like 12 and 14 moves ahead. Whenever I look at a chessboard, okay, I don't play chess in and out every day, but whenever I look at a chessboard, I struggle to work out not only the next move, but the next 2 or 3 moves. I basically find it almost impossible. Whereas this guy at 14 years old was already making headlines in Group C, whatever that was, in some chess tournament in 2004. So that's when he was 14 years old. He's actually younger than me by 6 months as well. So again, I'm just assuming there. Maybe I could go back in a time machine and maybe I could practice chess from a very early age, and maybe I could go on and be an all-time great chess champion. But I'm going to assume the chances are probably I'm not going to be able to beat this guy. Yeah, I shouldn't really be assuming in this, but I don't know. I'm just trying to get a point across. You let me know. There are also chess youngest chess champion. There are also other chess champions. There are some people like 12 years old, but there's also like, there's some guy that is like, sure he's an 8-year-old. An 8-year-old living in a homeless shelter has won the New York State Chess Championship. So an 8-year-old there is winning chess championships. So do you think every 8-year-old has got the same opportunity if they have the same training and all that stuff as this guy? I'm going to guess that this guy is naturally really good at problem solving, looking ahead, making quick decisions and stuff like that. This guy is obviously, this is the first time I've seen him actually. He's obviously gifted in some kind of way. What else can we look at? We can look at, what are we going to look at now? Best Formula 1 drivers. Okay, I don't even need to go off this page this time. Okay, so we've got a guy, arguably the best of all time, or one of the best of all time, the best of the current era anyway. Actually, maybe there's the best of all time, I don't know. A guy. How come all of them there? Actually, is that a woman? No, it's a guy. How come all of these people here are all guys? Why is there no women there? Are women genetically not as good at like spatial awareness and fast reaction time and stuff like that in terms of driving? Why are there no women in the to my knowledge, I don't think women are banned from like the Formula 1 and stuff like that. But why are there no women there? Just a question. I've not got any hard proof, and I'm just questioning why are there no women in there. Okay, I'm going to show you this crocodile. Okay, why does this crocodile look like a crocodile, and why does a human look like a human? Some weird stuff coming up on Google. Why does he look like that, and why does that crocodile look like that? The reason is genetics. Before that crocodile even had a chance at existing in the universe, that was born as an egg. This was he was born as an egg and a sperm, and the genetic makeup, they're pre-programmed. That was going to become a crocodile. That was going to become a human. This is probably a bad explanation, but what I'm trying to get at is the genetics is behind everything. What else can we talk about? The final thing I want to talk about actually is the the human brain. This is some weird stuff coming up again. I don't know if this is going to get me get this video demonetized or whatever. Human brain. Okay, the reason I'm showing a picture of this human brain is because, do you know what the most complex thing in the universe is? That one of the things that we understand the least about, well, I'll tell you what it is. It's the human brain. The human brain we understand very little about. Yeah, we've mapped it and we've figured out that the front part is to do with consciousness, and there's part of the back of the brain is to do with breathing and stuff like that. But it's still one of the least understood things in the entire universe. The most complex thing in the universe, the human brain, 100 billion neurons. We don't understand it yet. So what I'm trying to say is there's so much room and so much room in the human brain that we don't know about, that could be influencing why someone might be good at something and why someone might not be good at something. For example, the reaction time is all to do with inside of the human brain. IQ and problem solving is all to do with inside of the human brain. I don't believe that two babies are born exactly the same and they're both going to have the same IQ. One of them is going to be genetically better than the other one. One person might be good at analyzing stuff really quickly and then making a decision really quickly from that. Someone might be good at hand-eye coordination really quickly. Someone might be a naturally maybe nervous person. Maybe that's through nurture. I don't know. Maybe it's through nature. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. This is more of a debate. I know I've kind of got across my opinion as well, but if you've got any facts or figures to kind of say otherwise, then definitely do let me know what you think. I think if going back to like RTS games, obviously that's what I play Command and Conquer. I think some of the stuff like reaction time, probably not so much, but reaction time, I don't really believe that will impact RTS games that much. It's probably more for FPS, but IQ, and problem solving and stuff like that, that probably it will impact FPS, because I often watch Counter-Strike and I see some people doing some crazy stuff and coming up with crazy stuff and solving situations and problems that I have no idea how to get out of. But I also believe that IQ and problem solving and stuff like that also heavily impacts RTS and probably some of the other genres as well. But reaction time is probably going to be mostly FPS. Decision making and quick analysis, that probably comes with IQ. I don't know, but maybe like quick decision making and stuff like that. Maybe someone can sit there for ages and be able to work out something using a strong IQ, but maybe having quick decisions is another part of the brain. Who knows? I don't know. Like I said, the human brain is something we least understand about. Hand-eye coordination, for example, maybe that's something that in women, maybe their hand-eye coordination isn't as good, which is why the best men's tennis player in the world would probably be able to beat the best women's tennis player in the world, or maybe that's to do with the Formula 1 racing drivers and stuff. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. But yeah, there's kind of some of the things that I can come up with to do with gaming. But yeah, this whole video was really focused on the nature part. Are some people more genetically gifted and are going to be better at gaming than other players, no matter how hard they train, which will come under the nurture, which I might come on to do in a future video. No matter how hard you train or how hard you focus or what kind of equipment and stuff like that you have, or what kind of educational upbringing you have, are some people just naturally better and have an advantage over others, which is being some of these things, and probably 100 other things that I haven't even thought about here. Like I said, the human brain being one of the things that we understand the least about. So yeah, I don't know, just opening up a debate. I know there's not a lot more videos than this on YouTube. I know there's a CSGO player called Steel. He also did a video on this, and he actually had quite a lot of negative comments on it. But I wanted to put it out there with a bit more evidence behind it and a bit more kind of thinking, and see what you guys think. So let me know what you think. Give it a thumbs up if you like these kind of debates, and look forward to more. If I get a positive reception, then I will definitely be doing some more. If it's negative reception, then maybe not. So yeah, GG, cheers for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.